Today on DNVR Buffs Live, a sentence that I cannot remember ever saying. The Colorado offensive line is the key to saving the season. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Squad.
Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. It's DNVR Buffs Live. Tons to talk about today, but you nailed it off the top. The offensive line kind of looking like the key to victory this weekend. It was offensive line day on the podium. Gunnar White, Xavier Hill, Zarian McGill. We'll get into it all. Talk some Shedeur, talk TCU's. Some big injuries for TCU. Slight update. Injury report comes up tonight for the first time, of course, but we'll get into it. How we doing?
Marvelous.
Fantastic. 80 degrees out today.
Beautiful day.
Such a picture-perfect day, bro, for real.
Beautiful. What is up, chat?
Chatski. Larry already knows what's up. He wants to hear our thoughts on what he's
Shedeur.
talking about.
We'll get to it. Hit the thumbs up button, y'all, and let's go. All right. As I said, offensive line day on the podium. Great to hear from the guys, and clearly I think the most impressive / best room on the team so far.
Yeah.
We'll start off with this one. This is Xavier Hill and Coach White talking about what happened after the second drive against BYU last weekend, and also just, the optimism that kind of comes from showing that you really can run the ball. So here they are.
Big step forward for you. Absolutely. And then from our first interviews, whenever I got hired, that was one thing that we wanted to be strong in is the run game. I mean, it's offensive line. You got to take pride in running the football. And, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if we ran it every play. But, you can't always do that, right?
Sure, yeah.
But, I think we're doing a heck of a job. And as you see throughout the games, BYU's the first one where we really put it all together as a five, as a group. And, I'm just hoping that we build off that and continue that.
I didn't really, at the moment, you really don't see it during the moment, but, looking back at the game, we maybe, I wouldn't say we started to get a little bit complacent, but, we just need to find ways to keep the pressure on our opponents whenever we do go up early or score early. We just need to find ways to continue to push through and make sure that every drive ends with points.
So there you go. I mean, it was kind of I don't know how you don't feel better or really good about the offensive line after Saturday night, even considering how the game ended.
For the 5 games so far played by Colorado this year, they've rushed for at least 130 yards. I think they might have done that maybe 3 or 4 times all last year, and they've already done that in the first 5 games of the year. And they had another impressive showing on the ground this past week against BYU without 2 of their top 3 running backs. Yep. Still had no issues running the football and moving the football, through the ground. So those guys up front, Xavier Hill is a big reason why. Xavier McGill, who we also heard from today, is a big reason why. Jordan Seaton, the best left tackle in college football, is a big reason why. And a lot of people thought that building an offensive line almost exclusively through the transfer portal can't work. Colorado was proving that it can work if you find the right guys. And that's what Zarian talked about today, too. He was like, Coach Gunnar, Coach Dre, they went and got the right guys who fit this system. And that's what we're seeing. And you mentioned at the top, I do think this is the most consistent unit position group on this team so far this season. And that's a blessing after the offensive line situation the last 2 years.
Absolutely. I mean, I think slowly but surely, we're all starting to learn that this offensive line is the strong link of the team. And I think as time goes on, and I hope as time goes on, we'll start to call plays that reflect that and just say, like, look, I said it yesterday, but I'll say it again. If this team is going to turn this season around, it's because they're going to learn how to physically dominate their opponent. And we saw it for two straight drives against BYU. Yeah. And BYU is they're not slouches.
Nope. That's grown men too.
Yeah, that's not doing it against Wyoming or Delaware. That proves that it's possible, that it can be done. And I think they're going to continue to add wrinkles like they did with the Wildcat last week. They'll probably go back to the Wildcat, I would hope.
They should.
And, you know, when you look at TCU, the way to beat them, same way we used to talk about it, like when the Broncos had an inferior offense to the Chiefs, is like, okay, you got to find a way to keep them off the field. Like, you're not going to go in there and say, like, let's both air it out and see who wins. Like, they'll win that one.
Yeah.
But you can go out there and say, we're going to take this ball and run it down the face of your defense for 6 minutes to 8 minutes. And then you're going to go out there and you better convert some drives, or else we're going to go out there and do it to your defense again. And we've seen hundreds of football games in our lives where one side dominates the trenches that way and the other team just doesn't get enough opportunities to keep up with them.
Totally. Going back to what you said, though, Scotty, I mean, look, emotions are really high right now. There's, dare I say, even panic from a lot of the fan base, just a lot of negative energy. But if we look at this, and you listen to what Gunnar White said there, and you look at the performance against BYU, the good things, the offensive line, right? I think it shows just how close this program really is to being fully dominant. You did not have an offensive line the last 2 years at all. In one season, they bring in these transfers, the three that man up the interior of the offensive line, and they've stabilized the position. It's what you said. A lot of people said you can't build an offensive line through the portal. The Buffs managed to do that. They have one of the best in the country right now. And, you know, eventually, and it's crazy to say this too, the skill talent, or at least the quarterback, or the corners, running back, they're obviously having to figure stuff out. Like, once those kind of all match at the same level, like we saw the last 2 years with Shedeur and Travis and those guys, this team is going to be a problem. And so I guess that's the one, like, real, like, mega positive I can bring, coming out of BYU, is that this program is kind of close. And really close.
And while they have built, in my opinion, one of the best offensive lines in college football, mostly through the transfer portal, those guys in the interior in particular in their last year of eligibility, Xavier, and Zarian. But that's why it's awesome that we're seeing Yo-Yo get opportunities. It's awesome, why we're hearing Coach Gunnar praise Chauncey Gooden and Carday Smith as true freshmen. That, along with Jordan Seaton still only being a true sophomore, is how you build a program the right way, with a physical identity. And again, the running backs are going to come as long as Marshall Faulk is in that building. And I don't know if we've talked enough about this season since week one has gone on, Marshall Faulk's impact on the run game. As much as we talk about the offensive line being improved and this running game being improved, like, he clearly has made some impact there. On that room and in that running game as well. So I agree with you, Jake. Once all these positions kind of, let's say, match the talent level of the other position groups on the team, that's when it can get scary. And again, what we saw last week against BYU, offense really doing whatever it wanted in the run game, that's one of the best defenses in the country. Like, BYU has been one of the best defenses in the country. That's their identity, to be physical on that side of the ball and stop the run. So that was an impressive showing when you look at the positives.
For sure. Next, another positive. Let's talk about Yo-Yo, man. Obviously, he's just broken through to, he's created a position for himself. Which is kind of crazy. So here's Coach Gunnar White talking about Yo-Yo and what he's done so well to get on the field this year.
This is the right tackle one?
No, the Yo-Yo one.
Yeah. Yes.
He's too good not to put him on the field. He's been busting his tail at guard, at center, tight end, the whole nine. And you know, you got to reward kids that do well and do everything that they ask, and two are, I mean, one of the best guys in the unit. So if we could keep 6 out there, I would love to. But I mean, that's not the way that it works. But he's doing a fantastic job, and I'm super proud of him.
They could play 6, they would. Might as well just do it.
That coupled with his statement in the first clip we showed where he was like, if we could run it every play, I would be mad at it. Like, those two together, I don't think many people in Buff Nation will be mad at if that's the approach that this offense really took. But that's awesome hearing from Yo-Yo. I mean, we've seen it. You know, to use Coach Prime's, you know, adage over the last couple of weeks. Y'all saw what I saw. We all seen Yo-Yo when he's getting opportunities out on the field. He has made the most of them. He has brought energy to that offensive unit when he's been on the field. Played snaps at guard, at tackle, obviously at tight end as a 6th offensive lineman so far this year as well. So, man, Yo-Yo, I had a lot of high hopes from just kind of from a project perspective when he came in last year, but I don't know if I saw him developing this quickly as he has, and that's a credit to him and the rest of that development and coaching staff.
I honestly think a lot of people probably never give him a chance.
I would say that's probably accurate.
Like, you know, the instant gratification society that we live in today doesn't usually love the idea of a development project. And so when that was the kind of narrative around Yo-Yo when he got here, I think probably just a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, that's like a fun little story.
Cool story, yeah.
And you're right. For him to be able to already be on the field, impacting games and helping out this team is, to me, just a testament to, one, his work ethic.
Definitely. And
his willingness to say, like, I will not be denied from being on the field. And two, strength and conditioning program. Like, you know, being able to have him ready for this that quickly. So it's a fun story so far in this season.
Tip of the cap to the scouting staff, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've done a really nice job over the last 3 years, or last 3 off seasons, you know, finding guys like this. Yo-Yo's just they're like running behind him too. You know what I mean? It's like,
hell yeah.
They're not like putting him out there as like a, you know, a trick like eligible like tight end or something to like kind of mess with. No, they're pulling him across with motion, and they're running behind him.
And that's
go ahead.
I mentioned earlier, and that's what makes it impressive, because when he gets put on the field as a 6th offensive lineman, the defense knows that Colorado's running the football.
Yeah.
And they have not had any issues running the football when Yo-Yo's on the field. And that's awesome to see, man, because this could turn into somewhat of a go-to, right? Having Yo-Yo on the field, having Drelon unlocked now as a Wildcat quarterback or just a traditional running back, like we're starting to see roles kind of be altered and solidified a little bit depending on how you look at it. And yeah, ideally you would like to have all this stuff figured out in week 1 or week 2, but you know, sometimes it takes a few live games and for live bullets to be thrown for you to actually figure out and know what you really have at your disposal.
Yep. All right, let's take our first break, and then we'll get back to today's pressers. Shout out to our friends over at Bet365, the place to get in on the action when it comes to football season. Also, I mean, it's future season. If you're an NBA or NHL fan, I mean, season's right around the corner. It is October. Happy October, by the way.
Sean-tober.
Yeah,
Sean Payton, winningest coach in NFL history in the month of October.
Welcome to Sean-tober, everyone. Shout out to Bet365 with also their early money line payouts. It's also playoff season for the baseball, so hit them up. They got Thursday night football bets, Sunday night jackpot bets, all kinds of stuff, SGPs. And right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when you place $5, win or lose. Just sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on anything: the spread, totals, player props, futures, SGP, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Common Spirit Health. I was watching the Broncos game the other night, and Common Spirit Health ad comes up. I'm like, damn, they got Bo Nix and Peyton Manning. Then I went on the post-game show. We had. I was like, dang, you got DNVR too. So shout out to Common Spirit Health.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah, exactly. At Common Spirit Health, they're more than just hospitals and clinics. They're a team of passionate and expert caregivers dedicated to your well-being, woven into the very fabric of your community. Whether it's a routine checkup or managing a chronic condition or responding to an emergency, you can trust Common Spirit to deliver exceptional care close to home. Experience the difference that compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and discover a new standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. That's mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos.
Shout out to Common Spirit. Shout out Bet365. Okay, going back to pressers, a few more to get to. Let's talk right tackle. We saw, when did Roye come in? First game, was that Houston?
It was, yes.
So Andre Roye comes in the game against Houston. I think he finishes the game.
I think he played like most of the game against Houston.
And then last weekend we saw Larry back in there.
Yeah.
So Coach Gunnar White was asked about the rotation at right tackle and what he's seen from them. Here's what he had to say.
Well, sometimes you just got to light fires under guys, you know, because you can be, you know, the strongest dude in the world or be able to keep guys out on the edge and whatnot. But if you're just kind of halfway going through the motions or anything, like you have to have a reality check because we're not the only ones who are looking at that, especially if they want to go to the next level. Like we can't set them up for failure because that would be bad on us. And that's just our way of doing it, and also rewarding Roye for kicking tail in practice, you know, and doing what he needs to do. Because at the end of the day, the best five are going to get on the field.
Have you seen what you needed to see from Larry since he's been back in that position?
Yeah. But every week's different.
Yeah.
Every week's different. You know, you wake up one day and, you know, your head might hurt, or your stomach might hurt, or whatever, and you got to push through. And if you don't, guess what? Somebody else is there to take your job.
So this position was one that I figured this would go through the season. I mean, Phil Houston's still working back, right? We mentioned Carday. We don't have the clip, but it sounds like Chauncey and Carday are getting more reps. They're really coming along, Chauncey especially. But I'm not surprised to see the rotation at right tackle. And, you know, sounds like Gunnar White's pulling out all the stops to try and motivate Larry Johnson to go out and take it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still a competition right now. I think it's Larry Johnson's job. And I think what we heard from Coach Gunnar right there is that he just kind of needed a kick in the pants. He just needed a wake-up call, so to speak. And, you know, Larry has played 50-plus snaps in every game this year except the Houston game where Andre Roye played the majority of that game, and obviously that game didn't go the way that the team wanted, what the offense wanted. And that's not because Andre Roye was in there and Larry Johnson was in there, but that might have been a wake-up call for Larry Johnson, you know. And I think it is his job, but it's awesome that as we're talking about how this offensive line is improved, that there's depth to it. It's not that, Larry Johnson is not giving us what we want this week, so we just got to stick with him. No, you got other capable options. Andre Roye has started and played a good amount of football in the Big Ten, and you have options behind him. You mentioned Carday as well. Phillip Houston, we've yet to see him suit up this year, but I assume that would be coming soon enough. But this just, again, speaks to not getting complacent, right? Even though that's the word that Xavier used earlier in terms of how things kind of changed in that BYU game. But just because you have a starting five and you feel good about it, it doesn't mean you ignore some of the things that, you know, could hurt you down the line. And I think that's what we saw with the right tackle situation.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Gunnar really quick because I feel like you mentioned Marshall Faulk. We haven't talked enough about him. We've talked a lot about this offensive line being better. I don't know if we've talked enough about the fact that Gunnar White took this offensive line over right before it started getting so much better than it was last year.
Amidst a lot of criticism.
And that's what I was going to say. Yeah. A lot of people, instant criticism of that hire, of that move. And not that this there's plenty of opportunities to teach this lesson, but it's a good reminder that let things play out before you snap to judgment on whether or not someone is quote unquote qualified for the job or the right hire.
Facts.
Totally. Let's talk about Drelon and Micah. Xavier Hill was asked about both of those guys and, you know, what they bring to the table. Clearly they needed to find someone to fill in at running back last week. And, I mean, they got an exclamation point with their answers from Drelon and Micah. So here's what Xavier had to say about them.
All our backs are dynamic, so with certain guys out, just having a spark like that come from the receiver room and really go out there and showcase his ability, that's I feel like that's elite. Micah knows how to get to those holes that we create, and he knows how to take runs for as many yards as he possibly can. He's not a soft runner, so whenever he does break out the second level, we can expect him to pick up as many as he can.
I said it to you earlier. That might be the best compliment a running back can get from an OG like Xavier, who's played a lot of football. He's not a soft runner. Mm-hmm. Like that's an elite compliment. Mm-hmm. Like you don't go down easy. You're not out there going down on the first contact. Like Micah is running hard, and we've seen that from
every
his true
time.
freshman season last year. He proves it week in and week out. And Drelon, his addition to this running game, the running back room last week, I think could potentially change his career trajectory.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? As a football player, like he looked so comfortable in that role this past week, so effective as well. I just hope that what we saw just gets added on. It just gets built. I hope they just don't run out the same thing that they ran last week because, again, not to go too much back to last week, but one of the frustrating parts with the Wildcat stuff with Drelon at running back is that BYU was not prepared for that. Mm-hmm. And now moving forward, other teams have that on film that they're able to prepare for that. So that's why I'm hoping that they get additional looks, get Drelon involved creatively in different ways, kind of off of what we saw last Saturday. But that's awesome to see. Like I said, down two of your top 3 running backs last week, you had no issues running the football, and that's awesome.
I mean, you mentioned it to me when we talked about takeaways. Also, when Xavier's talking about how Micah hits the holes that we create, I think he's got the best vision of almost any back on the team.
Right.
I mean, there's no run that's dead when Micah's got the ball in his hands because of his skill set, being able to run through people and run through contact. But also, he just sees things differently out there. I mean, the way he moves so efficiently.
Yes.
There's not really any backtracking or any panic when he has the ball.
Steps, no wasted movements, anything like that.
Yeah, he sees it and he trusts it, man. So I really think that Micah has an opportunity to be more than what he is for this team. I mean, if they wanted him to, I think he could be a bell cow for this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're still at this point haven't seen the best of Michael Welch, and I hope that at some point this season they feed that man, get him 15 plus carries, and we can see what he can do.
Real quick, which by the way I agree. Was Dallin Hayden a late scratch last week?
No, he got in the game every now and then.
Yeah, he just didn't get a carry.
I don't think so. No,
right. I'll double check here in a second,
No.
but I'm pretty sure we saw him.
He was in the game though, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
He played 5 snaps.
Okay. I'm interested. That's kind of interesting to me.
I mean, you can't take Mike out of the rotation.
Yeah,
and
no, I mean,
down
definitely.
your 2 guys, you add Drelon. Clearly, they had a plan for him, and once you
Michael
saw
Welch
it was
was
working,
the only true running back that got a carry in that game.
Well,
I don't mind at all.
I mean, I've always been a pick your guy and let him cook
Facts.
type of. That's my philosophy. It's pretty outdated or unpopular in today's day and age, but like you said, I'd like to see a running back get 15 to 20 carries. Like I bet you Marshall Faulk will tell you.
yeah.
The first 5 carries of the game, I'm still just kind of trying to feel things out, feel the the movement of the lines. Like if you get 15, 20 carries, I think, what did J.K. Dobbins have this week for the Broncos? 14,
Oh
15?
man,
I think it was
it's
16
something
for
like
like
that,
I think it
103.
would have been less. But anyways,
I
like
don't want fantasy.
these guys, like they thrive off of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I always consider it like playing the slot machine. The more you play it, that same machine, the better chance you have to win the jackpot.
Yep.
You try to put one coin in 5 different machines.
I mean, Micah is on the season. He's averaging 5.3 yards a carry again. He's had multiple big plays. Clearly, the fumble, that sucked. But that would have been I think that still is his longest rush of the season to this point. Like,
Probably.
he's kind of got home run potential out of, maybe just a bruising style of running, which is kind of rare. You don't really see those guys really break out into the open field. It's mostly 3 yards, cloud of dust type of thing. So
And let's not forget that this was the worst rushing attack in college football for the last 2 seasons. And even just to go back to the offensive line, Shedeur was the most sacked quarterback in college football the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
And through 5 weeks, according to Pro Football Focus, at least, obviously there have been some sacks, but none of them have been credited to any Colorado offensive lineman. This offensive line unit, coupled with the running backs, the ball carriers on this team, like, that's just got to be what this offense and this play caller roll with and focus on moving forward.
Larry asked who has the most average yards per carry out of all the backs. It's actually Simeon Price, who averages a ridiculous 6.8 yards a carry. Drelon's averaging 6.1. Micah's at 5.3. Dallin only has 2 touches on the season. He's averaging 5. DeKalen, 4.4. It's clear what's going on. Run the damn ball.
You could run the ball 40 times with those numbers and win a football game.
Exactly.
Oof. That was painful.
What?
Because I was looking at the average yards per carry as well.
Yeah.
It's like, it gives me hope.
But it's also like,
it's also painful.
For real.
Last clip from Pressers. Again, leadership, big topic for this season. Here's Coach White and Xavier Hill, both speaking about the leadership. Coach White speaks about the leadership of the offensive line. Xavier Hill just speaks about the overall leadership on the team.
The leadership on the team can definitely use some work. We've been, just focusing on our room. It's a bunch of older guys. It's a bunch of guys who have already done it. So, we kind of lead by example in our room. Like, we make sure to do as much as we can to prepare for the game and everything like that. And at practice, we might go through adversity every day at practice at some point or during the game, and we just try to keep our head, right here instead of getting too high, getting too low during the game. We just try to focus on our job each and every play.
Well, it's by example. It's by play on the field. You can't beat the talk. You have to do the action too. There's time for jumping in and voicing an opinion, but if you go to work and do what you're supposed to do, everybody else falls in suit too. But at the same time, you can't have bad habits and good play. Like, you have to have both. And I think they've done a pretty good job of exempling that.
Pretty candid from both of them there.
Yeah, I couldn't hear 100% what they were saying, but it sounds a lot like both saying we need better leaders.
Pretty much, yes.
And they have them in the room, though. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's different when it's coming from the quarterback.
Yeah.
The quarterback. That's where I was going. And Xavier Hill's a leader. We know Jordan Seaton is a damn leader. You know what I'm saying? And the only frustrating part about that when Xavier says that our leadership could definitely use some work is that this is an old football team.
Yeah.
I think it's 38 guys who are seniors or in their final year of eligibility. It's one of the oldest rosters in college football. And week 5, one of the team leaders is talking about our leadership could use some work. It's a bit frustrating, but we see it. We've seen it in these losses, the lack of leadership, the lack of player-led leadership. We've heard it from the coaches, from the players included. So if everybody knows that it's an issue, it's time for somebody to step up and fix it.
Do you have any thoughts?
No, I it's unfortunate that this is happening. Just because, I do think that there are leaders on this football team.
Yes.
Definitely.
But it's interesting that going into week 6, it's still a topic of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think there's a place to necessarily point the finger there. A lot of it just comes down to the makeup of the roster, the way that guys respond to certain people, and you mentioned the quarterback position.
Yeah.
It's different when you go from someone like Shedeur.
Totally.
And so that is what it is. But it's a little too late now to kind of figure that out. Now, I will say winning fixes everything.
Sure does.
Mm-hmm.
You find a way to start winning some football games, the leaders will just magically appear. People start to follow the people that are more vocal and that sort of thing. So I feel like I've covered a lot of losing football teams in my life. These things a lot of the conversations sound the same when a team is losing. I want to circle back quickly to the Wildcat thing that you were talking about, because you mentioned that teams will be prepared for it now.
Correct.
Which is true. It's on tape.
Right.
So there's no secret that Colorado has that and will use it.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many variations that you can use off of that you can almost use their own knowledge of it being there against them.
Yeah.
Because obviously, the second that if you do it the same way, if you line it up the same way, the second that Caden shifts off and Drelon shifts in, they're going to be yelling, Wildcat, Wildcat, run. I mean, you could direct snap it off to Caden and let him throw the ball. You could hand the ball off to him and let him throw.
I kind of thought they would do that at one point on Saturday, too.
Yeah.
Like Drelon just handed off to Caden.
And then he sprints out.
Yes.
You can pop pass with Drelon.
That's got to be the next step, I think.
He never once used the jet motion.
Correct.
So again, if they crash down too hard, take that jet. Like, that is, where I always talk about play calling as storytelling, and you can use the parts of the story that you've used to build up to get to the big reveal.
Hell yeah.
So I'm excited to see, hopefully, that innovation get added to the package.
Yeah.
I mean, Drelon did throw a touchdown as a sophomore at Silsby.
Go crazy.
Clearly it worked. You got to build on it. Can't just run it back out there.
Yeah.
Just can't do it.
You can't do that. That's
Well,
going to piss me off.
Hopefully you can.
I mean, in an ideal world, yes. But
Hopefully you can go a hat on a hat and dominate anyone
small.
you want.
Sure.
Your 6 offensive linemen versus their front 7.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yep. All right, let's take our last break. Shout out to our friends over at Monarch Money. We love Monarch Money here at DNVR because it's just a smart app and it helps out. It's like your own personal CFO. All those subscription plans, whether it's DoorDash or maybe just putting too much money on the Buffs, whatever it is, there's always ways we can save more money. And that's what Monarch Money does so well, man. It's super intuitive, great interface, just, clear and easy to read. All your accounts, investments, credit cards, everything's right there. Fights about money are the number one reason relationships fall apart. No more guessing, no more hiding, no more, I didn't realize we spent that much, with our friends at Monarch Money. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use DNVR. Use code DNVR at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DNVR.
And shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Taco Bell, man. Let me tell y'all something. If you haven't tried Taco Bell's new Cantina chicken menu yet, you are in for a treat, man. Taco Bell has launched a new era of chicken, and it's not your Papa's poultry. The Cantina chicken menu debuts a new flavorful chicken that is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned with Mexican spices, including garlic, onions, and a variety of chilies. Additional premium ingredients include the shredded purple cabbage, the white corn tortilla shells that are freshly fried, and pico de gallo, which is freshly prepared every single day. So get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell, and don't forget to add on that Buffs box for just $7, which features 4 Taco Bell classics and a large drink in a CU Buff player collectible cup. And here's the coolest part. Y'all already know this by now, though. Taco Bell is a proud sponsor of CU Athletics and will be donating $1,000 to the Golden Buffalo Scholarship Fund for every CU touchdown scored this season. We're already up to 17. So shout out to Taco Bell. Buffs love the bell. Shout out to TB.
Shout out TB for sure. All right.
This is random, but do you guys know who leads the Buffs in catches, yards, and is tied for the lead in touchdowns?
JoJo.
Pretty impressive.
I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all didn't want to hear me.
Stop.
I think he might be one of the very best players on this team. Joseph Williams. Might be one of the very best players on this team. Only a true sophomore. And
he is.
If he was the type of guy in an offense where he was getting 8-9 targets a game, he would be looked at a lot differently. But I think that's coming.
Yeah. I'm obviously a big JoJo fan.
Yeah, we all are.
So I'm stoked for him.
Hell yeah.
But that is a bit surprising. Like, there's been a lot of talk about Sincere, which obviously Sincere still averaging 26.4 yards per catch. Omari Miller, who we all love.
Dog.
11 catches for 200 yards on the season and a touchdown. I mean, there's so much talk about those two guys, and then obviously Drelon as well, who's now, a hybrid player. But for JoJo to be a top of the list is pretty cool. He's a sophomore, redshirt sophomore?
True sophomore.
True sophomore.
Yep. Yeah, he was a AC Freshman of the Year last year.
Absolutely.
All right, that's it from pressers today. Let's talk a little bit more about TCU, though. They've got some big injuries in starting running back Kavorian Barnes and Eric McAllister, their top wide receiver. Sonny Dykes spoke to the media yesterday. He said if there was a game yesterday that neither of them would play. Clearly, the injury report comes out tonight. We'll get more clarification on that. But Steven Johnson, he is the TCU beat writer for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. He was at their practice today. He tweeted out, Kavorian Barnes practiced with no red contact jersey. Didn't see Eric McAllister. Jordan Dwyer practiced, but was in a red non-contact jersey. I'm told that was for precautionary reasons. Dwyer is their second wide receiver. He comes in from Idaho, I think.
Yep. That was the receiver there.
No contact jersey for Barnes today. I think he had one yesterday, though. But it's still iffy. Also, TCU cornerback Javon McIver was really pumping up Dozie Ezukanma, another wide receiver. And I think so was Coach Dykes as well. Yep. He got his first taste of action last week, and he would be expected to start in place of Eric McAllister if he's not able to go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you never want to see guys get injured. But if we're just being honest, the combination of Eric McAllister and Jordan Dwyer is going to give the secondary fits.
Yeah.
So if he can't go for whatever reason, that would be a big boost to Colorado's chances in the game.
Without a doubt. And clearly, Hoover really struggled on last Friday. I'd imagined
once McAllister went out the game.
Yes.
Right? I think it kind of coincided when he went out the game. That's when things went down for Hoover in that offense.
And I think Hoover's confidence has to be a little down right now, especially if you're getting this news where, damn, I'm still not getting my top running back. My top wide receiver is still not practicing to this point. There is still 3 days to go, clearly, but not great signs. And it does suck because, Eric McAllister is one of the all-around best players in this conference, regardless of position.
He's their best player for sure.
Yeah.
He is an absolute dog, and try to tell people this offseason. But Kavorian Barnes, their running back, his status is very important to watch too, because if you remember I think that was week 0, North Carolina, he went stupid. 113 yards on 11 carries, got hurt in their next game against Abilene Christian, and he hasn't returned. So if he returns, this Saturday for that matchup, that could be big for TCU, a TCU team that currently, as we speak, is the worst rushing offense in the Big 12 at this point in the season. Only 133 yards per game, dead last in the Big 12. So if they can get their top dog back, that would certainly be a boost for Hoover in that offense.
And that's really interesting because yesterday at Sonny Dykes' press conference, he said ideally, this is from Steven Johnson as well, he said ideally TCU would like to run the ball 35 to 40 times a game.
They ain't been doing that. So
they definitely have not been doing that.
That must be that kind of makes me think that he might be returning then, Barnes.
And it kind of makes me think that you're not really going to get much Eric McAllister and Josh Hoover.
Exactly right.
The confidence that he's, dealing with right now may not be as it was, coming into the season, let alone last weekend.
Interesting.
I'm trying to see how many attempts they averaged so far through 4 games. Right now they're averaging 31 rush attempts a game.
They're high powered, man. They're going to get a lot of snaps.
It's probably going to be more than we think. Well, if
you got
32
cadence,
32.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, does that count sacks though?
I think it does.
I think so.
Yeah. What a stupid ass.
Yeah, it sucks.
Way to track statistics.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And Scotty, you tweeted this out yesterday, but Sonny Dykes was also talking about Colorado, and you remember when in the lead up to the game 2 years ago, he's like, we don't even really know. He's talking about, scouting Kent State, talking about scouting Jackson State, talking about scouting. I don't even know who else. He mentioned 4 other teams, right?
Yeah, I think he said they had to scout 30 schools or whatever.
Yeah. Well, this time around, he says Colorado's a much deeper team than they were in 2023, despite not having Travis and Shedeur. He also said Colorado may be 2-3, but they've lost to quality opponents. They had opportunities to beat BYU and Georgia Tech, which we all know too well. So.
He also said, Sonny Dykes, about Colorado, that the Buffs are a team that is on the verge of breaking through. So could just be coach speak, could just be complimenting your opponent before you play him, but I like to think Sonny Dykes shoots it straight.
Yeah. I mean, I really thought they broke through in the first quarter on Saturday.
So did I.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're watching that as a team that's about to play them,
Yeah, for sure.
you're probably thinking like, wow, they're
And you watched the
Right
first
there.
quarter against Georgia Tech, too.
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
We'll have Know Your Enemy later today.
By the way,
Go ahead.
what are we at with? I wonder what the streak is for Buffs games without a 100-yard rusher.
It's
gotta be-
Sean Payton streak.
Yeah, well, it's got to be pretty high. It obviously predates Coach Prime. I don't know if they
Did
had
y'all
a
have one in
100-yard
22?
rusher in 22. It would have been Anthony Hankerson, I'm guessing.
Or Dion.
So we'll see. But why I wanted to bring it up, Broncos, it could have been a statewide curse. Broncos broke it for everyone. Now the Buffs can have a 100-yard rusher of their own.
Could you imagine if they do it? Well, it would technically be in the same week, right? Since the Broncos game was Monday.
Monday,
That'd
yeah.
be insane.
So just looking through this, Dion went off against ASU in 22. He had
100?
he had 111.
Oh, go crazy,
Oh,
Dion.
so is he the last one?
He might. I haven't looked through Hank or Fontenot or anything yet, but
I'll check Anthony real quick.
I mean Fontenot didn't finish the year.
You
got
went
hurt.
straight to Dion's stats?
Yes,
Doesn't
he
it
was
say-
balling that year.
I know,
though.
but doesn't it say on ESPN like rushing leader on the side?
Oh, it would. But that also shows both teams too, I think.
Okay.
Hankerson did not rush for 122.
Yeah, he was a true freshman that year, and then Fontenot got hurt pretty early on against Air Force and never really.
Damn, that's
Our
dope.
very own
Very
Dion
own
Smith.
Dion. Last 100-yard rusher at CU. I wonder if he knows that. I feel like he does probably. He's like, hell, yeah. He's
I don't
like,
think
hell
no,
yeah.
he would have told us.
Well, okay, so
oh no.
Fontenot did run for 108 against USC. I don't know which came first though.
Which game was it for Dion?
Dion went off against ASU.
USC was 11-11.
Ah, it's 2 weeks after ASU.
Damn.
He got sniped. He got sniped by
Alex
Fontenot.
Fontenot is the last one.
Yep.
So anyways, yeah. Shout out J.K. Dobbins. He has opened the door for Micah Welch to go do it for the Buffs this weekend.
Totally. Let's talk a little bit of recruiting. Yesterday we talked about Braden Allen, the wide receiver who was committed to Tulane. He decommitted. It really seemed like Oklahoma and Colorado. I don't know who exactly it was from, but On3 gave him a RPM prediction to commit to Oklahoma.
Interesting.
So we'll see. Colorado's gone after quite a few wide receivers in this class, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Pitt kid, Sedarian, those are the big ones. But
Kai Mesa's visiting soon.
well, yeah, and then they
From
went
Utah.
after there was a Baylor guy they were going after earlier.
Yep.
So yeah,
Hey, if you got a guy like Julian Lewis at quarterback in the fold for the foreseeable future, you want to make sure you surround him with as many weapons as possible.
Totally.
And no, there is not a such thing as too many receivers.
Speaking of Juju, he had a tweet today.
he did. So did Jordan Seaton last night.
Julian Lewis tweeted 7 hours ago a picture of him walking out of the tunnel with his teammates.
That picture's
pic.
dope as hell, by
Yeah.
the way.
Really dope, in a perfect pyramid. He said, "Blessed to be a Buff." #ScoBuffs.
And then Jordan Seaton last night tweets out, "We still believe."
Love it. I do think that that's a not an accident,
100%.
which is great and
Really is.
very much appreciated.
Sticking with recruiting here for a second. We haven't talked about him in a minute. Gavin Mueller
My dog.
went crazy
He's
recently.
been known to do that.
He has been known to do it. This is different, though. Colorado tight end commit Gavin Mueller last weekend against West Chicago Community had 6 carries for 144 yards,
What?
a 40-yard catch, 3 touchdowns, and threw a touchdown on a double pass.
Did you say 6 carries, gang?
6 carries for 144.
Is he running their Wildcat?
He might be. Utah has a freshman tight end doing that same stuff too, though.
No, when I talked to Gavin this offseason, because he transferred to a new school for this football season, he mentioned that he was going to be playing some quarterback. And when he said that, Wildcat didn't pop into my mind, but that makes sense because he's obviously their best player on that team.
Did he run for a touchdown, catch for a touchdown, and throw for a touchdown?
I don't know. Just his 3 touchdowns. Let me try and dig in here.
That's sick. Yeah, no, he's special. We're gonna have to be fighting hard to keep his commitment.
Totally.
Because every program in the country is gonna want him.
All right, this is a long paragraph, but this is straight from Charles Power from Rivals, who I think was there at the game. Mueller turned in his second consecutive big game on Friday, flashing rare athleticism and playmaking ability for his size. He carried the ball 6 times for 144 and 3 touchdowns.
Oh, so all touchdowns on the ground.
He showed the burst and long speed on a 47-yard score on the opening drive, and again, 71-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter. He also had a 40-yard catch on a wheel route and even threw a touchdown on a double pass, showing his versatility and playmaking ability. Still in just his second year of high school football after previously focusing on basketball and track, Mueller has shown rapid improvement and looks to be scratching the surface of his potential. He already has 645 yards and 11 touchdowns from scrimmage this fall. With his physical tools, athletic background, and continued trajectory, Mueller looks like a high upside prospect with an NFL ceiling.
Yeah,
he's going to be a 4-star.
Yeah, he will not be a 3-star for much longer.
He's the 3-star right now?
Yeah.
I thought he was a 4-star. I was going to say he'd be a 5-star soon. We might be looking at like a Brock Bowers, Tyler Warren type of athlete here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really like that, bro.
The only thing he didn't do is catch a touchdown in that game. He ran one and threw one.
We know he can do that. I mean, 6'5", 240 with the basketball background, the 40-inch vert, the strength, like that's a prospect right there for real.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Again, that's scouting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's identifying traits and projecting. It's not what are you right now. It's what do you have that can turn you into something greater.
And look at the schools who are after him, who he chose CU over. Notre Dame, LSU, Wisconsin. Them programs know how to recruit, specifically that position. So, yeah, Gavin's a dog.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of called this. 247 Sports Composite has him as a 4-star at this point. So his rankings have definitely gone up. On the composite, he's 313.
I think that's new.
Yeah, he was not this high when we talked about him in the summer.
I think he was only a 4-star on Rivals this offseason.
That would make sense. Someone asked what level of competition. I don't know. He's at a new school, and I couldn't tell you about, was it Illinois football?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what class he is in. I believe it goes 1A to 8A in Illinois, 8A being obviously the highest level of competition. I don't know what class he is in, but don't think it's the highest, but that doesn't matter all the time. I ain't gonna lie. If you can ball, you can ball.
Thinking about a tight end running for 140 yards.
No, Utah's got a guy like that, number 10. We'll obviously talk about it in about a month. I think he's a freshman. And who are they playing? Oh, they're playing Wyoming.
Right.
It was late against the game in Wyoming. The game is over, and they're just wildcatting that kid like crazy. Yeah. And he is a monster, bro.
For sure.
That's it for recruiting. Shedeur Sanders. If you haven't seen the video out on social media today, clearly Dylan Gabriel's been named the starting quarterback this week for the Browns, and of course the media, instead of going to Dylan Gabriel's locker, they flocked to Shedeur's locker to hound him with questions. And Shedeur mimed his answers. No actual sound waves coming out of his mouth. He's just mouthing words. And it was weird, but God, I feel so bad for this kid, man. Get him out of there.
I mean, obviously, it's a response to, who was it, Rex Ryan?
Yes.
Saying that he shouldn't be talking to the media, blah, blah, third-string quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Hearing that he's not doing all the right things, blah, blah, blah. So Shedeur's like, man,
he can't win.
If I speak, I get criticized. Yeah. Watch this. Even if I don't say anything, they'll still criticize me. And guess what? They are.
Yep.
That's not the story here, though. The story here is that we're one step away from Shedeur being the starter.
That is true.
And there's been some hand-wringing about him being still the third-string quarterback. I think that's actually the right thing for the Browns to do, because let's just say Dylan gets all week with the ones, and then you decide to make Shedeur the 2, and so without preparing to be without getting the preparations to be the starter, then you have to put Shedeur in there in the middle of the game because of an ankle sprain or something like that. It's not giving that wouldn't be putting Shedeur in the best position to succeed. Now, do I think he would care about that? No.
Yeah.
Do I think he would probably still go out there and throw the football where he wants to throw it because that's all I've ever seen him do? Yes. But when it comes to like putting a rookie quarterback in there, conventional wisdom would say you don't put them in there as the 2. So what I think will happen is Joe will be the 2. And then eventually Dylan Gabriel is not going to get it done. And they're going to say, all right, well, we cannot go through the season without finding out what we have in Shedeur. And so call it week 11.
Yeah.
I think Shedeur makes his first start.
It's a matter of time. That's all it is.
It's an exciting development because I ain't gonna lie, this is week 5 of the NFL season.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought that they would give Flacco a longer runway. You know what I'm saying? Not that he would have deserved it, but I thought they would have just week 8. They would have gave him probably 8-9 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that it's week 5 and Dylan Gabriel is already the starter means that I think week 11 is a good number, a good kind of potential starting point for Shedeur. Because again, I was a bit impressed by what I saw on the field from Gabriel in preseason, but it didn't change my mind about,
of course,
him being a starting quarterback in the NFL for a long time. So as far as the mime thing from Shedeur today, I thought it was genuinely hilarious, me personally. And I think it's hilarious when you think about why he probably did it, and is what you eloquently said. Like, he gets killed for talking, and he was like, you know what? Let me see if I'll go out here and say nothing and see what they're going to do about it. And they're probably more pissed about that. Mm-hmm. And the fact that people are reporters out there in Cleveland are even sticking a microphone and camera in Shedeur Sanders' face on a day like today when Dylan Gabriel is named the starting quarterback is the problem in itself.
But they're going to keep doing it because it keeps getting interaction. They're going.
Maybe
I saw NFL media complaining about first take or whatever. As soon as Dylan got named the starter, the first topic they had was how long until Shedeur. It's like people are complaining about that. I'm like, what do you like? Of course, that's what they're going to do. People don't give a shit about Dylan Gabriel,
right?
And they care a lot about Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to make it about Shedeur because that's the thing that people will watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people trust their eyes, and they saw what they saw from Colorado the last 2 years, and they realize that Shedeur's a good quarterback.
Even if it's not that, it's just Shedeur's popular. He's a superstar.
Of course.
Like, he's literally a superstar outside of just playing football.
Definitely.
And he was obviously a star on the football field as well. But, like, just from a pure media perspective, of course they're talking about Shedeur because, and of course they're interviewing Shedeur because they interviewed Dylan Gabriel, get half the views, half the interaction of them talking about Shedeur or talking to Shedeur.
And another reason I'm not mad about Shedeur being the QB3 right now on the depth chart is that the Browns' offensive line right now is a mess.
The Browns
They've
suck.
really been dealing with injury. They've just been hit by injuries up front. And obviously Flacco didn't play well, not directly as a result of that, but it certainly didn't help. And we'll see how Gabriel looks behind that offensive line with Cedric Tillman just put on IR. Jerry Jeudy looking a little bit like Denver Broncos Jerry Jeudy right now. So we'll see what they look like.
I will say also, I love the fact that Shedeur did that with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. That's also what made it hilarious.
They would have loved to say, like, oh, look how pissed
They
he
broke
is
him.
or whatever.
Right.
And they're probably still going to try to paint that narrative.
Yeah.
But there he is just with that classic smile on his face the entire time, like, actually mouthing answers. It's not even like he could have just said, like, man, I ain't talking to y'all today. Like,
Right.
go talk to Dylan. He's a starter.
Yep.
He's like, no, he actually answered their questions, but didn't say any words. Well, I certainly never seen it before, but
I'm shocked
I appreciate that he did it with a smile.
I'm shocked the transcript hasn't come out yet of what Shedeur actually said of somebody like trying to
where's
read
the
his
professional
lips.
lip readers out there?
John Boy, we need you. I have nothing positive to add to the conversation.
All right.
Anything else from today?
No. Tomorrow
We're traveling.
we're on our way. Next time you see us, we'll be in Fort Worth.
Yep. Know Your Enemy will be done tomorrow as well, so you'll be able to check that out.
So Adam Schefter just tweeted this. He goes, Shedeur Sanders pantomiming today was in response to ESPN analyst Rex Ryan criticizing the rookie quarterback earlier this week. Here's what Ryan said Monday on Get Up that led to Sanders pantomiming answers today about Cleveland's quarterback change and him remaining QB3.
Oh, Lord.
I think it's one thing for us to say that, that Shedeur probably said that in response to Rex Ryan, but I feel like it's kind of crazy for Adam Schefter to come on and be like, yep, that's the reason he did it. Is that just me?
I mean, the way that Adam's phrasing it without saying it is like he heard for a fact that's why.
He's just plugging the ESPN show is what he's doing.
Maybe that is it.
That's also possible.
Maybe.
But yeah, it is interesting that he didn't say, like, after speaking with Shedeur or Coach Prime.
He's just saying that like it's a fact. Like he knows Shedeur did it in response to Rex Ryan.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think that is the reason why, but I understand the difference between what you're saying, like us being like, that's probably why he's doing it, and then reporting it like a fact.
No.
Odd.
All right, let's go to the Twitter chat. B-Dubs, I know this is off topic, but who is the defensive leaders? Inquiring minds would like to know, please.
Taufik
Bayard. Arden Walker. Reggie Ben Finiseth. Reggie kind of talked about, the challenges of doing that as a transfer, but he's on the field a lot. He plays middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Amari talked about the team needing a vocal leader up front and him feeling like he can be that guy. I would throw his name in the ring, but I think the first 3 or 4 names you mentioned are the right answers.
Yep. Ivan's asking if tomorrow's show recorded. Then no, it'll be live. We'll be live in.
We'll be live from Fort Worth,
Texas.
Super chats. Lil Fix, has Leftwich been on site at all recently, fellas? No.
Well, we're not on site.
Well, true, but
so
he's not. I don't see him on the sidelines at games or anything.
No, I don't think he has. But I mean, we've talked about the situation there. He's not a full-time coach.
Exactly.
It was, I guess, incorrectly reported at one point that he was.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
We're leaving that there.
What'd you say?
Leaving that there.
Okay.
Wario Telly just with the super chat. Was that Canadian? 279 Canadian?
Nice.
Appreciate
Squad.
you, man. That is it. Alrighty, chat. Hit the thumbs up button on the way out. We'll be back tomorrow.
We'll be in Fort Worth this time tomorrow.
It's time. Last minute
Hell
super chat from Warren G. Do you know what the Browns want to see from Shedeur? We know he can play, similar to how Coach Prime wanted to see leadership from Salter.
I have no idea.
Couldn't tell you either, honestly.
I don't know what the Browns want to see.
But I can promise you that if they are communicating to him what they want to see, he's doing everything in his power to do that for them.
Facts.
Well said.
Alrighty, chat. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.